Beyblade's a game of talent, luck, and most importantly skill. Not everyone's cut out for it, but I believe in miracles. Today I'm taking my talentless, luckless, and skillless friend Toby and making him into a Beyblade champion. I'm gonna make him compete in a regional Beyblade tournament held in Baltimore, Maryland, where he'll have to go toe-to-toe with professional bladers from all over the country. The only problem is, the tournament's tomorrow, and Toby knows nothing about Beyblades. We're gonna have to train him.
That one's purple circle. Red circle? Oh, I know this one. It's El Drago. Oh, that's Hello Kitty. Zyphoid Excalibur. Tornado Wyvern. Cheetah.
Oh my god. Now that Toby is in peak blading form, I think we're ready to embark on his Beyblade journey to the top. So the next day I drove to his house for the tournament and picked him up. The drive actually took a lot longer than we expected because there was a huge accident on the highway, but luckily we left early, so when we got to the Beyblade tournament there were seconds to spare to register and we barely made it. So the day wasn't starting off that great, but nevertheless we made it to the tournament and I was ready to throw Toby into the wolves. However, there seemed to be one massive blunder in my training. Alright, Toby.
Oh wait, you gotta teach me the rules real quick.
I forgot to teach him the rules. Oh my goodness. Not only that, in all of our training, we never actually launched a Beyblade. So let me explain the rules real quick and teach Toby how to launch a Bey. Beyblade is a battle top game where each player can customize and create their very own top. There are three parts to a Beyblade: a layer, disc, and driver. The layer is the part that makes the most contact with the opponent, the disc provides weight, and the driver dictates the majority of the Beyblade's movement. To launch a Beyblade, you need a launcher. There are two main types of launchers: a string launcher that requires you to pull a string to launch your Beyblade, and a ripcord launcher that requires you to pull a cord to launch your Bey. Both players must say the phrase 3, 2, 1, go shoot, or 3, 2, 1, let it rip, and launch your Beyblades into the stadium simultaneously. Once the Beyblades are in the stadium, there are three ways to win. You can 1, knock your opponent out of the stadium, 2, outspin your opponent, or 3, burst them. It's a Hasbro only tournament, so you can only use Hasbro Beyblades. Each player brings 3 Beyblades that you can change between every battle, and the winner is the person who scores 3 points first. KOs and spin finishes count as 1 point, and burst count as 2 points. Alright, now that Toby and you guys are familiar with the rules, it's time for him to actually make his Beyblades. Since we were running low on time, I provided Toby with 2 pretty powerful Hasbro Beyblades: Drain Fafnir Giga Atomic and Erase Diabolos 00 Destroy. However, I left him to come up with his ace.
Rate my combo, Noah.
Why is it so chunky?
Look at how much damage it's about to inflict.
What Noah didn't realize is that it would be this unorthodox Bey that would surely carry me to victory. However, I knew it was too early in the tournament to reveal my big guns, so I decided to go the first round without my ace.
Toby, having studied up on historical battle tactics, kept this quote in mind: "The supreme art of war is to subdue the enemy without fighting." Sun Tzu, The Art of War. He positioned himself in such a way that his hulking frame protruded threateningly. His strenuous Beyblade training was paying off. It was too much for his opponent, who messed up his launch, giving Toby the win over the first battle. Shockingly, the second battle went almost exactly the same, with Toby's opponent hurling his Beyblade well outside the confines of the arena, likely put off by his outrageously bulking muscles. For the third round though, Toby decided to go with Erase Diabolos, but this time his opponent pulled himself together.
My spin.
He's stealing it.
It's banned.
Not really.
It's left.
Toby's idea was to steal spin from his opponent, but what he didn't realize was that his opponent was a left-spinning Beyblade, making his strategy pointless, and in the end, he lost to Drain Fafnir. The score was now 2-1. His opponent was catching up. But going into round 3, he came up with a genius plan.
I'll just use my opponent's Beyblade. It had to be pretty good if it beat mine.
And with Toby's newly stolen Beyblade, he avoided all of Longness's attacks and was able to beat him out in a game of attrition, winning his first round 3-1. After Toby's decisive victory, he decided to train against some kids between rounds and show off his complete dominance. And before he knew it, he was called over for his second round. For round 2, Toby wasn't playing around anymore. It was time to get serious. It was time to bring his ace Beyblade. Wait, what was it called? Alright, Toby, name your Beyblade combos.
That's like naming my children. That's too hard.
Anyway, with Toby's unnamed ace, he went into round 2 pretty confident and decided to lead with his most powerful Beyblade. With only a handful of truck-like strikes, Toby's ace blew the opponent's Bey to smithereens, isekaiing them on the spot. With the burst, Toby was given 2 points, meaning he only needs 1 point to win. For the next battle, Toby went with the tried-and-true spin steal strategy, but he got outspun stolen, making the score 2-1. Battle 3 though, he went with his final Beyblade, Diabolos, who chased his opponent right out of the ring, making the score 3-1, giving Toby a second consecutive victory. He is now showing true signs of a Beyblade pro. Alright, anything you want to change in the next round?
Would you change perfection?
With Toby's newfound confidence, he went into the match with a big head and proceeded to lose the first battle immediately. Although it looked close, if we look back at the footage, his opponent's Beyblade touched the ground 1 frame after Toby's, making the score 0-1. For the second battle, Toby got serious and brought in his ace, a Beyblade that has yet to be defeated. With his powerhouse Bey, he was easily able to tie up the score. He won the next battle trivially. Fafner's menacing aura was simply too sinister for the opponent's Beyblade to handle, making the score 2-1. With only 1 point away from winning, Toby decided to bring out his ace for a second time this round, and you know what, I'll let Toby explain this battle.
I sent my ace careening into the stadium, but he got a tad overly rambunctious, so I had to calm him down and remind him to engage the triangle strat that we had practiced for so many sleepless nights. For those of you who don't know what the triangle strat is, it's a hidden Beyblade technique passed down as a bloodline secret, where the Beyblade moves in a perfect equilateral triangle, bobbing and weaving through their opponent's vicious blows. Only a trained professional with years of blading experience could even dream of using this technique. But me? It's in my blood. After all, I'm the 7th removed cousin of Dwayne Johnson, also known as The Rock.
And with this secret technique, Toby was able to win the round, establishing a dominant winning streak that might just lead him to victory. For round 4, the merciful Toby decided he wanted to spare his opponent and make his death as quick and painless as possible, so he led with his undefeated ace. With his overwhelming power, the ace Beyblade not only barraged Spriggan with attacks, it also stole spin from the left spinning Beyblade, draining all of its power and winning at life after death. When fighting a Bey with great spin, use a spin sealer to take some of it. Sun Tzu, the art of war. As Toby once said, would you fix perfection? So in the second round, he decided to go with his ace once more. The Beyblade performed the circle strat to perfection, moving around the opponent with never-ending circles, eventually winning the battle with the spin finish, making the score 2-0. Because he needed a challenge, for the third round, Toby decided to go with a new Beyblade that he hasn't used before, Siege Excalibur 00 Extreme. And when the opponent saw that Beyblade, he screamed in excitement.
Yes!
What spin is that?
When your opponent screams yes after you reveal your Beyblade, that's usually not a good sign. Would he finally be able to take a point off of Toby?
Alright, Blade is ready.
The battle starts off and his opponent proceeds to bully Toby's Excalibur Beyblade, not letting it get a single attack in. It's not looking so good.
But like Noah, I believe in miracles.
Toby channeled all of his heart to get his Beyblade to go in an outlandish move, a clean hit to unexpectedly knock his opponent out of the stadium. Toby defeated his 4th round opponent with a clean 3-0. And with that, he was crowned the winner, the champion of the regional Hasbro tournament. Or at least he would have been if he didn't.
Oh no.
In the end, though, the tournament was a lot of fun, and although Toby didn't win the tournament, he won my heart. Deep down, he will always be a Beyblade pro to me.